Good evening, guys, and welcome to round 7 of the Rookie Racing Championship. Tonight we are here at the glorious Mexico, the Autodromo de Hermanos, and it should be a good race, this one. 16 drivers on the grid tonight. I've got a few guys unfortunately who couldn't make it. First cars are starting to emerge from the pit lane. We've also got the two Hasses almost collide into one of the Red Bulls there. We've got a few new drivers tonight as well, filling in. So very nice of them to pop along to fill the odd few places, which is always nice for them to do. As we just see the first few guys head out onto track. Bradley is one of them in the Racing Point. There's a replacement tonight. Lewis Oliver could not be with us, so Bradley is in the Racing Point instead. Off onto his outlap. If you could just give some thumbs up in the chat, guys, just to make sure you can hear me nice and clearly. It seems alright at my end, but you never know these things. I mean, YouTube's been a bit of an idiot this evening with with logging in issues and everything else. So if you could just let me know you can hear me nice and clearly in chat, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Obviously an 18-minute qualifying to start the day. And there's already yellow flags out for whatever reason. A couple of guys struggling out there. We'll have a look with Bradley though, as he's about to go onto his main lap. There's a yellow in the stadium section. Looks like it's one of the Williams, and oof, I mean that was slowing up quite aggressively, because I'm not sure if that was Fabio or George there. George, another new driver for tonight, getting to take a seat as we see Bradley go on to his first lap. DRS flap open. I mean, the Racing Point car's been pretty quick so far this season, so should be expecting a few things. Very questionable line to say the least through T1. Gets the back end kicking out, a bit of oversteer on exit, just about keeps it together. I mean, it's quite a difficult little track, this Mexico. Real tight corners. There's some flat out sections as well. Justin opens the timing sheets with a 1:14. Then Storm follows in with a little bit quicker. Mercedes slots in third so far. Bossy splits Justin and Mercedes. Cohen splits Justin and Bossy. Times are coming in thick and fast so far. We'll see what the newcomer Bradley can do out the last turn. Across the line, P4, 1:14.8. Not a million miles off the front runners actually. And meanwhile, his accomplice storming the other Racing Point has done a 14.4, so a little bit quicker. And it should be quite an interesting race tonight, due to the fact, you may have noticed on the grid, there are no Alfa Romeos. Both sorry guys, for some reason my mic cut off there. Both Felix and I can't remember who's the other driver in the car. I think it Crispy Chicken, that's the one. Crispy, both Felix and Crispy. I don't know why that popped out my head, but both of them cannot be with us tonight. So that could open up the championship fight. There could be a few guys here wanting to get points, especially Justin and Cohen in the two Hasses, who, well, let's face it, they've been pretty quick on pace all season. So is Bossy in that Renault. This could be a decisive round in the race for the championship. We'll go and have a look at... George has just entered the pit lane. I was going to go and have a look at George. We're going to have a look at Callum. Still out on track. I'm assuming he's going... No, he's just set a lap time, hopefully. Nope, he's diving for the pit lane instead, so... Another driver off track. Reben in the Mercedes tonight. New driver to the league. Getting his first run out in the Mercedes. Unfortunately, Declan, who was in that Mercedes car, received a season ban from the stewards due to driving standards at previous races, so he will not be racing the rest of this season, hence why Mercedes have had to draft in a backup driver. And while I've been all saying that, Mark Corus in the Ferrari has done a 14.6, splitting Storm and Justin in half. I mean, that could get interesting come the end of this race. The Ferraris have not been on pace all season. I mean, I got some stick in the Discord for saying that a few weeks ago, but it was true. I mean, they've been off pace, but Macaros there in the Ferrari showing a bit of pace early on. Maybe that Ferrari has got something to give, and it's down to the drivers, not the car. Most people have pitted. Sutil in the AlphaTauri's just done a 15 dead. It looks like to me the speed he's going at, he was on another lap. He's warming up his tyres. I think he's backed out of that one, unfortunately. I'm going to have a look at Bossy in the meantime. He's just coming out the last corner to start his lap. Off he goes. He's going to have to contend with a bit of traffic. I think that was one of the other AlphaTauri's just coming out the pit lane. I think he was. Yes, it's Ben Ratcliffe in the AlphaTauri. It looks like he's going to get out of the way though. Yeah, very sensible of him. Bossy continues on his way. DRS Open. Coming down the back straight. Just over 10 minutes to go in the session. And Storm in the Racing Point car currently leads the way. By about, we've got quite a healthy margin actually, by about 2/10 or so. So it could turn out to be quite an interesting race, this. I mean, Storm has been reserving for a few seats the last couple of weeks, but he has had pace, and now he's got the chance to drive in a Racing Point car, which is quite a quick car in the corners, which will probably suit the car around here. Could make it very interesting. So Bossy out the last corner. Over the start finish, no improvement on that lap. And we'll go and have a look at George in the Williams, who's just begun his lap. DRS Open down the back straight. In the Williams car's been a bit of a midfield runner this year so far, or this season should I say. It'll be interesting to see how they get on come the back of the season. We know Fabio in the other Williams has been pretty quick all season, and meanwhile, while I was saying that, Bradley, the debutant in the Racing Point, is just on a 1:12.8. That is a quick lap. That's just under 2 seconds quicker than his teammate Storm in the other car. That's a really good lap. That should have him safely in the top 10, you would think. It was a very quick effort. Ben Ratcliffe on the AlphaTauri, just on board with him as he comes through the stadium. Still to set a lap time. Looks like he's been struggling with track limits. Out of the last corner he comes. Over the finish line, and it's P8 for Ben so far, so pushes Bossy and a few others down. Slots in behind his teammate Sutil. And a few more are being pushed down the order. George in the Williams has done quite a good lap, 1:14.2, so that pushes Storm out of second place. This could be quite an interesting race tonight. I really hope it isn't going to end up with this man Bradley becoming another Felix, but it'll be better to see slightly better racing anyway. Fabio's in the pits. Let's have a look at Reben in the Mercedes, obviously making his debut like we said. On a lap so far, DRS open down the back straight. There's a yellow in that section. Potentially Suttil actually, because he's not out. One of the Williams diving out the way. I think that was George. And Reben out the last corner, almost touches the wall on exit there. That could have been costly. Moves him up his position, 1:16.7, so quite a decent improvement to be fair, but compared to the other guys off front, still a little bit off pace by about a couple of seconds. Bronco's in the pits, still to set a lap. Mr. Markerink in the other Mercedes has retired from the session. There was a yellow through the stadium section, so I'm assuming that was the cause of that. As Marcoris comes through the stadium section himself. Looks like he might have backed out that lap actually, I think he has. Will he be diving for the pit lane? Yes he will. Oh, yeah, no. He was debating whether to go around again, but then decides to dive for the pit lane. So Justin just coming down the front straight into T1. We know Justin has had pace all season, very, very wide out of turn 3 there. Potentially might have had to give way, and Bradley in the Racing Point is out of the session. I'm wondering if he's had a crash at somewhere. Unfortunately the game doesn't let you go and see what's actually happened, but he's out of the session. That's very interesting, and whether he's crashed or, I mean, I don't want to say he has. Justin gets it very wrong coming out of the S's there, manages to gather it up. I don't want to say that, but it's Bradley being a little bit cocky, saying that, oh, this 112's going to get me on pole. Well, there's 4 minutes to go. Well, just under 4 minutes to go actually, and anything can really happen. I say it, he's on a lap. DRS open, coming into the stadium section. Out of the stadium and out of the final corner. He's diving for the pits as well. That's interesting because it looked very much like he was on a lap there. Cohen looks like he's going pretty quickly, or trying to at least, pushing the car to the absolute limit. 1:14.7, 6.9 he's done so far, compared to his teammate doing a 14.752, so interesting to see what this lap is out of the last corner. Onto the straight, across the line, and it's P4 for Cohen, 1:14.5, great lap. Pushes him up the leaderboard. I think that looked like Callum just emerging from the pit lane. It was his teammate actually, Fab, so he's just emerged. Callum is out on track as Raphael and the other Ferraris had a spin there, coming into the pit lane. And Callum's going quite slowly there. It looks like he potentially might be out of fuel. On a lap at the minute. Ben Ratcliffe's on the lap. P10 at the minute. 1:15.5. Is he potentially going to improve? You You would think he would. Across the line he comes. No improvement. Subtil in the other AlphaTauri, going through the S's. DRS open, see what he can do. Just over 2 minutes to go in the qualifying session. Out of the last corner, a little bit sideways. Coming across the line, what's it going to be for Subtil? It's no improvement, unfortunately. Stays P8. Well, his teammate Ben is going for a back-to-back flyer by the looks of things. Comes down, takes quite an aggressive line over that curb actually. May have slightly cut it by the looks of things. Still pushing as hard as he can though. Out last corner, across the line, and he's jumped his teammate Ben Ratcliffe up from P10 into P8 with 1:14.9. So another driver into that 1:14 group, with his teammate just over a tenth behind him. So not a lot in it. Fine margins to say the least. Who are we going to go and look at? Callum's just pitted. His teammate, however, isn't. Fab is on a flyer. DRS open down the front stretch. And the brakes into turns 1, 2 and 3. Out the corners. There's a few leaves go flying over the racetrack. Coming out the back of one of the Ferraris head for some reason. Just bit of kick of oversteer there for Fab. Just about keeps it together. Coming down to the S's. Fast left, fast right, fast left. Another fast right and another fast left. Pushing it, just about keeps it within track boundaries. But I think he's backed out of that one by the looks of things. Yes, he has. So, didn't quite get it right. Reben in the Mercedes about to come across the line. What's his lap time going to be? It's no improvement, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Subtil has got himself up into P4. The AlphaTauri, 1:14.5 he's done. Around the final corner, across the line, any improvement? Yes it is, it's P2, great lap. 1:14.1, so that's going to make this end qualifying session a bit exciting. First to come across the line will be George in the Williams. Is he on any improvement? It looks quick, he looks quick out the last corner. Round he comes, across the line, and he jumps him again. George up into P2 now, so that pushes Subtil down to third. Storm out the last corner, can he improve? Comes across the line, no improvement. So, in the end, it's Bradley on pole, even though he retired. George in second, Subtil third, Storm fourth, Cohen fifth, Marco sixth, Versailles in P7, Justin 8th, Ben 9th, Bossy 10th, Fabio 11th, all the way down in 11th, Reben in 12th, Fab in 13th, Callum 14th, Raphael 15th, Bronco 16th, and Minster Markerink in P17. So stay tuned guys, we'll join the race very shortly, so stay tuned and see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, guys, to the 7th round of the Rookie Racing Championship here in Mexico. Drivers head off on the formation lap. A bit of a mixture of a grit, to be honest. The faster guys that we've seen at the front for most of this season, apart from Cohen and Versailles, are right down by order. Justin's down in P8, Bossy's down P10, Fabio all the way down in P11, so it's been an interesting one. So the Davidsons, Bradley, George and Marcos are, well, let's say, showing the rest of the field up. I think Bradley is a very good contender, though, to challenge Felix in race victories. As they lead the cars round on the formation lap. 36 lap race here in Mexico. It should fly by, though, simply due to the fact it being such a short track. It'll be interesting to see how everyone gets on. Soft tyres most people have put on, I think. Just try and get some details up for you guys. We've got the track map and also the cars lining up on the grid, so it should be an interesting race. Bradley round the final corner onto the grid. Looks like George in the Williams for some reason didn't manage to get off the grid, so he's had to stay where he is as the grid begins to form up, ready for the start of this Grand Prix. Should be a good one. Interesting to see how the grid gets away as we now go to 5 red lights here in Mexico. We're about to get going. Lights out, away we go. Good getaway from Bradley at the front, but it looks like one of the Alpha Tauris, I think it's Sutil, that stalled it a bit in the middle, drops himself all the way down to P10 as they run down towards T1. Bit of debris flying everywhere. And looking through, are they all going to get through cleanly? Just about. A little bit of contact in the background. A little bit of a lag touch, actually. Looked like Ben Ratcliffe and a few others, and his teammate Sutil involved. But Sutil's jumped the rest of them. I think we've got potentially a few spinners in the background. No, just about keeps it clean down towards turn 5. Few lunges going up the inside. Really good racing here on this opening lap. And somehow they've all kept it clean. Few guys ghosting through each other. That's just the game being a bit stupid. But Sutil, after pretty much stalling on the start, gets himself back up to P5 already. They come flying down towards the stadium section for the first time. Everything looks nice and clean so far. And Bradley at the front has managed to extend a 1.1 second gap at the end of the first lap and does a 1:19.5 to open the timing sheet, so that'll surely get quicker, you would think. As the game does what it absolutely loves to do and messes around the the order to start off with. But at the minute, it's a 1-2 for the racing points. Ignore the figure on the side until it resets. But Bradley leads the way from Storm, from Versailles, from George. It looks like Cohen has actually just snuck past Versailles there. And now the order has reset. Few position changes going about. Fabio in the Williams at the back has dropped right down the field, starting P11, dropped out a couple of positions already, as Bradley just goes purple in the second sector. Expected, and has extended a 2-second gap to his teammate already, so potentially showing his pace in these early stages. Like I say, we don't know much about him. He's done a 1:17.3 that time round. Cohen just behind in the Haas, trying to chase these boys down. And meanwhile, the closer battles on track. George is chasing down Versailles for P4. Battle so far. As a bit further down, Ben Ratcliffe and Fab are having a scrap over P12. Excuse me. And oh, who's the spinner there? Markarus has gone round in the Ferrari. I'm not sure how that was caused. It looks like he just lost it on exit there. So he's dropped down all the way down to last place. His teammate and a few others pass. And meanwhile, Fab and Ben continue to scrap over this P12 position. Fab and Fabio, should I say more like. Sutil and Ben are just a bit further up the road. As Markarus goes around the outside of his teammate there. Raphael gets the move done. His next victim would be Callum in the McLaren. To come down the back straight, looks like there's a little bit of a battle going on ahead. There is. Fabio's trying to get past Fab and gets it done nicely before the corner with DRS, so nice move from him. It looks like there's a nice little battle developing at the front between Versailles and Cohen. Cohen down the inside! Contact by Cohen! Cohen gets spun round! Gets spun on his side, gets back going again, so no safety car needed. That could have ended quite badly, and it's dropped Cohen down the order. Lunging in a bit too aggressively, just so you get a bit of a kick of oversteer there. But this might be the story of the day so far. Mr. Markerink, who started his P17 at the back of the grid, has moved his way all the way up to P4 in the Mercedes. That's a really impressive drive so far. And he's got Versailles in the Red Bull as his next victim. Mercedes power versus Honda power. Mercedes going to make him go the long way round into T1. Side by side and just about keep it clean. And I think he's going to get it on exit, you would think. Yep. Mercedes gets bad traction and George is going to try and come through on the exit and gets the move done. So George through into P4 now and Mr. Markerink through into P3. And meanwhile, further up the road, you can look at the gaps now. We're going to stay with this battle because George, you'd think he's going to try and get past Markerink again. But Bradley and Storm are just running away with this race. Bradley's pulled a 4.5 second gap over his teammate. And Storm has pulled a 3 second gap over Markerink. But you could arguably say that was due to a bit of squabbling going on between Markerink and Versailles a few moments ago. You can just see how far them pink dots are on the track map going down that front straight there. Big difference, and you'd think Bradley, as long as he doesn't make any catastrophic mistakes, he's going to run away with this race. Meanwhile, George had a peep on Mr. and there's a spinner, and it is the spinner's Storm. The spinner is Storm. He has gone round at the exit of turn 3. Yellow flag still being waved. He's just about to get going, but he has got damage to the front of that racing point. Gets back going again. Yes, you can see on the right hand side of the car he's missing an end plate. And he's dropped all the way down to P14. And I think he's going to fall even further back. Fab's just behind him in the McLaren. think, with Storm with a broken front end plate, he's going to get past him pretty quickly. And looks for a dive, and who's that off in the background? I think it's Ben. It is Ben Ratcliffe off in the S's. Gets back going again, but that's going to cost a bit of his race. As Fab dives down the inside of Storm, not going to give this one up. Bit of contact as they come through the stadium. Gets the job done though. Bit of oversteer on the exit. Fabio's into the pit road. So is Justin into pit road as well, and Storm predictably into pit road due to having front wing damage. And it looks like, well, all that's been unfolding. George has got past in the Williams. It seems like Markerink is going to try and fight this one back. Bit of oversteer on the exits. On the exit of each corner. Just seeing Lewis Oliver, who's the normal driver in the Racing Point. Well, all I could say, Lewis, is that your replacement tonight, Mr. Bradley, is putting on a good show, already up into P1 and has led the race with an 8-9 second gap for the last few laps. So Racing Points are taking majority of the points, apart from Storm being at the back of the field due to having that front wing damage after spinning. I couldn't see it being anybody's fault. It looks like it just dropped it himself from camera. We'll stick with this battle for P2 though, as Markerink almost drops it on the exit. Very, very good hold there. You could see the steering wheel, how much lock there was to try and save that. Very good save though. And it seems like with them gripping like this, track temperature is quite warm. Raphael, I believe, has spun. And he's spun in the stadium section. Gets back going, got front wing damage as well, so he's going to be heading for pit road. And I think that's Storm again that's gone round. Spun again, so doesn't look like it's going to be Storm's race this. Started all well and it's gone relatively downhill from there. Now this could be interesting. Mr. Bradley, the race leader, into the pit lane. Let's see Raphael getting back out. Now this will be interesting to see where this brings him back out. So George inherits the race lead. Markerink second. By the looks of things, I think he's going to come out P5. Vasaity's through. Bossy's in the pits. Marcus is there and Bradley's out, so Marcus just crossing the start finish now, so Bradley comes out P4. Real Sutil and Bossy drop down the order. Fab moves up to P6, bit of position changes. Callum up to P7 after pitting very early for a set of hard tyres. I think he was involved in a few first lap antics. And we'll be trying to do a very long stint on them hard tyres. Ben Ratcliffe just behind him. But we're going to have to stick with the battle for the race lead, aren't we? And Markerink has actually got past George at some point that we've missed on camera again. Unfortunately, we'll stick with them for now. I think these boys are going to have to pit pretty soon anyway. I wonder if it's just a case of waiting to see which one reacts. George reacts first, he goes into the pits, so might potentially be trying to do the undercut on Markerink. Be interesting to see what tyres he goes on to actually. It looks like it's going to be a set of mediums, and it is a set of mediums. Yellow compounds on. Pretty quick pit stop by the Williams team. Out he goes on his way. And I think we've got a spinner again. It looks like the Racing Point of Storm again. It is. Marcus has got a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit road. That potentially could cost his race. Bradley back up to P2. And he's gone on to a second set of softs, so is he potentially trying to do a two-stop strategy? That seems the most logical thing at this stage, if he's done another set of softs. Marker Inc. still on them soft tyres though, and you would think he's going to have to pit pretty soon. And in fact, he's coming into the pits this lap, so Mercedes pit crew ready for him. And he comes. The insights say that Marker Inc. is on a two-stop strategy because he's gone on to another set of softs as well, so interesting to see where that goes. Marker Inc. just about to exit the pits. Out he comes. Is he going to get ahead of that Williams though? It's going to be a drag race down towards T1. Marker Inc. versus George. Is George going to have a look? He is going to have a look. He's going to have a dive up the inside. Marker Inc. just about shuts the door. George is going to have DRS coming down this back straight. Oh no, he isn't, because the detection zone is on the previous section, so he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Is George to see what he's going to be able to do. Looks like the gap is falling off a little bit. There is a bit of a four-way train forming here though, with Cohen, Versailles, Justin and Bossy all in one big line. Brilliant camera shot from above us. Justin goes straight on and drops all the way down the order. That has cost it, and the safety car's being deployed. Wow, this is going to shake up the race. So Cohen goes off, gets very heavy damage, and that's brought out the safety car. And I think there's another car off. I think Raphael's crashed on the pit straight. Interesting to see. Yes, there he is on the right hand side. Raphael's car has crashed on the pit straight, so he's out the race. It's going to be interesting. And what's happened here? I think Versailles has gone into the back of Bossy behind the safety car. There's debris absolutely everywhere. Well, that's confusing. What's happened there? Meanwhile, Callum's loving life. He's inherited P4 in all that. And this could play into Callum's hands with him being midway through the stint on them hard tyres. Potentially give him a chance to save fuel. The safety car's parked on the back straight waiting to pick up the leader, who is there, which is Bradley, just coming across start finish. He's actually just lapped Marcus in the Ferrari, so Marcus will sit behind him on the restart. And there is the safety car queue starting to bunch up. Get around as much as they can. Callum taking advantage of a pit stop. Onto mediums he goes. Callum doesn't drop a lot of positions in that, actually drops down to P6. So there's last few leaders starting to catch the safety car queue. Interesting to see what happens on the restart. Just because there is a safety car, guys, we're just going to take a quick break for a couple of minutes. We'll keep you informed if anything happens, but stay tuned and we'll see you in a few laps time when the safety car pits. As welcome back, guys. It's a very delayed one, but the safety car's coming in this lap. Bradley's backing up that field. He's going to leave it as late as he can. And he's going to go now and drops it! He drops it on the restart! Oh my goodness me, I have never seen anything like it in the 3 years I've been commentating on league races. I have never seen anything like that. Oh my goodness me, on the restart. So that means, well, it's like normal Formula 1. It's a familiar sight at the front. Mr. Markering leads the way with Reben. So the Mercedes are both 1-2 so far. But Reben looks like he's going to come under attack from a very fast-paced Ben Ratcliffe tonight. He's been showing his pace so far, but I think Bradley has just cost himself the Grand Prix there. I think he's that is a really, he's tried to absolutely full on send it out that last corner and has got it awfully wrong. Shame for him for that, but unfortunately when it's not your day, it's not your day. And I think he's learnt that the hard way. So there's a bit of a train forming up here of Formula 1 cars. Reben in the Mercedes being at the front, Ben in the AlphaTauri behind, as one of the McLarens gets it wrong. I think it was Fab. He's managed to get it just about back going, but he's going to leave himself vulnerable to Sutil behind. As you can see, Cohen in the house, going up the inside of Callum there. Just behind him, Sutil having a look. And also during the safety car, you might have noticed Storm retired. It was with a mechanical failure, I can tell you that much. As Fab has just lost out to Sutil there. Versailles gets it all wrong, side by side with Callum. Callum round the outside. Is he going to try and go up the inside? Thinks better of it. So we'll move back forward to Fab. That's a bit of a closer battle. He's over P3 between the two teammates, Ben Ratcliffe and Sutil. Are both going to battle each other as much as they can. As who's that? I think that's Revan getting it all wrong. Coming out. No, he's actually pitting. I did realise he was going a bit slow. As Sutil gets it wrong actually. Coming out. He's side by side with Fab down the straight. If Fab's going to make the move, he's going to have to do it the long way round. And he dives back to the inside. Tries to cut back. Almost gets it right. It wasn't far away from pulling that off actually. It was a pretty good effort. Down the back straight. Fab still racing nice and hard. Trying his best as much as he can. And surely you're going to think he's going to have to try and get past Sutil at some point. Sooner rather than later, as Cohen has a look on Fab. Thinks better of it. He did have DRS, so potentially pulling out like that just to avoid a collision. As we go on to lap 19. Out of 36, lap 18, sorry, out of 36, not quite lap 19 yet. Fab has DRS, Cohen has DRS, Cohen's going to have a look down the inside. He got the slipstream, I think he's going to get it done. It's a bit of a dive, he's over the curb and Cohen spun and he's taken Versailles with him. Pretty big accident there. There's debris on the track, that might bring out a VSC actually, because it looked like there was a little bit of end play in the middle of the racetrack. I think they've just about got away with it. Lives to fight another day, and who's that off? I think that's Bossy that's crashed, it is. So Bossy has crashed in the midfield. So that's cost him a bit of his race. Now, I'm assuming it's come from this train as Callum skips the chicane slightly. Not got enough momentum. Cohen runs into the back of Callum. Cohen gonna go around the outside, gets the move done. And Versailles dive bombs Callum. That could be an illegal move, to be honest. From looking at that camera angle anyway, it was very much a dive bomb in my opinion. And Callum has decided to pit, so I'm assuming this is going to be Callum's last stop of this Grand Prix. There'll be another set of mediums, I would think, and he would try and do the remaining 16 laps on them tyres in theory, so that would be the most sensible solution. So Markerink, who like I said came from the back of the grid, P17, and has moved his way up the order. Bradley, who was leading the race and had that spin on the restart, has managed to clamber his way back up to P10, so good effort from him so far. I think he did make a pit stop as well due to a damaged front wing, so in all that, but I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen somebody put the floor down out the last corner and just drop it like that. It's the first time I've seen that in a long time. As Markerink has now pulled a 12.5 second gap to Ben, which is quite a decent margin, to be fair. As Cohen is going to have a go on Fabio here. Nicely done. Nice and smoothly done. And he's even going to get the DRS down the back straight to even pull even further away from him. Fabio not had a bad race considering he started P11 up into P6. Well, currently P6 at the minute. Versailles in the pit lane for a new set of tyres. I'm assuming that is down to the damage that he did have. as Bradley has made his way up to P8 now. Quite a good effort. George just behind him, who did make a pit stop, hence why he is down in P9. Reben not far behind them guys either, so I mean, there's about 15 laps to go in this race, and it's anyone, could be anyone still. And Bradley seems like he's got the pace to catch back up to the leaders based on current lap times and current delta, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Markerink's pulled a 15-second gap at the front as there's a bit of a battle going on for P3. Sutil round the outside, gets it done before the corner, very nice. Fab, is he going to try and fight back? No, thinks better of it. And goes a bit wide on exit there actually, a bit of a mistake there from Fab, so concedes the position. So that's 2 AlphaTauris on the podium so far. Going on a minute as Bradley has just dispatched Bronco in the Red Bull, and he's now, his next target would be Fabio in the Williams. And you can just see the racing point just in the corner of your screen there. So it'll be interesting how the rest of the race develops. Meanwhile, Bossy is chasing down Versailles in the Red Bull just ahead of him and getting closer by the second. He's going to get DRS coming down this back straight. Is he going to have a look? Brakes late. Would have been a bit of a dive bomb if he tried to send it there, so thinks better of it. Gets all over the curb though coming through the stadium. Could have easily gone wrong out of the last corner. Main straight. I think he's just outside DRS range, I think, at the minute. Yes, he is just outside, so I'm going to drop back a little bit. Fab, meanwhile, just behind Reben. Reben being in the Mercedes car, and gonna have to try and defend for his life. Fab has just put a new set of mediums on, while Reben's hards are 4 laps old currently, so be interesting to see how the rest of the race goes. And I think that's Markerink in the pit lane. It is. So that'll be his final stop of the session. Sutil inherits the race lead then. Markerink not far behind him. Cohen might have an attack though. He hasn't got DRS, but he's going to have a go down into turn 1. Markerink's going to hang it round the outside and eventually backs out of it, thinking it was, the move was too risky. Cohen moves up, moves down the order, should I say. Still in P3, but this could be a recovery drive or what. Bradley, P4 currently, just catching up to the back of Cohen and Markerink. Not sure if Sutil is going to have to make a pit stop again. His tyres are 10 laps old. He's got to do another 12 laps on them, so he'll be nip and tuck, see if he can get them to the end. As Bradley, DRS, going to go around the outside of Cohen into T1, brakes late, good move, makes it stick, back up into the podium positions out of, after that remarkable restart, and in all the wrong ways, should I say. I've never seen a car spin like that on a restart, and lose the race lead. Seems like he's going to fight it this to the right to the end. 12 to go in this race, and it's not all over yet. It's definitely not all over yet, and it'll be interesting to see how the remainder of the race unfolds. As Bradley still trying to close that gap, as Markerink and Sutil are having a battle for the lead. I think Sutil's just about have to concede that one. He's on older tyres, remember. If these two keep squabbling though, this is going to play into Bradley's hands very, very well. So Markerink back into the race lead. There's a yellow in sector 3. I think it involves Bossy going off the track, and he's just entered the pits, so clearly had a spin there, and did. I've just looked back on the replay on the track map. He did have a spin. But Sutil still battling his way forward. Should I say Bradley just behind them, still battling his way forward. Markerink and Sutil are having a bit of a scrap, so they're losing time to Bradley so far, which potentially might not be a good thing in a couple of laps time. 10 laps to go. Sutil with DRS, and Bradley's actually pitted, so Bradley can't get them tyres to the end of the race. He's onto a mediums. Well, they'll get to the end of the race easy. So loses the one position to George. He potentially might lose that fourth as well if he don't get a move on. Oh, he's just about got it, only just though. That basically leaves, well, a 2-horse race for the race lead. Markerink versus Sutil. We'll come back to that because I think there's a bit of a scrap going on. Reben, Fabio, Versati and Justin all involved in a little 4-car train. As Fabio looks to dive down the inside of Reben there and almost gets it all wrong. The away, and that's a tap from Versati, and Fabio's gone round. Versati gave him a bit too much of a nudge, and that's cost Fabio's race. He's back to where he started on the grid. A real shame for him. I mean, it's clear and obvious to me that that was Versati's fault, as he's still trying to make his way forward. He's going to send it round the outside and on the inside, and half spins, loses the positions. Reben moves away, Justin goes through, but Justin's entering the pit lane, I think. Yes, he is. So Versati just about lives to fight another day. Markerink and Sutil still battling away with 9 laps to go. It'll still be interesting to see how the rest of the race unfolds. Sutil DRS on Markerink, but Markerink seems to be pulling a little bit more of a gap now. And we'll go and have a look at another battle, because Fabio is all over the back of Bronco right now. Fabio DRS closing the gap. Sends it round the outside. Is he going to get the move done? Cross his back. Going to send it round the outside again. Fabio, great move. Gets it done. And he's going to get DRS on the next two straights to pull away as well. Meanwhile, a bit further up the road, Cohen and Ben are having a scrap. All over P4. Ben gets it quite bad on the exit there. That's going to allow Cohen to attack him a little bit and get DRS coming down the back straight. Cohen flat out through there. DRS open. Goes to the outside. Is he going to get it done before the corner? I think he is. Yep, good move. Nicely done. Good racing from them boys. Just over 7 laps to go to the end of this race, and it's been an exciting one. There's been action all over the track. And rightly so, there's been some good racing in fairness between these guys. Meanwhile, back up front, Ben Ratcliffe and DRS again. Can't quite get the pull this time. Has to back out of it. He's going to get DRS again down the following straight. And I think if he stays within range, he might be able to have a go down the third DRS straight, which is quite a short one to say the least, but it is a DRS straight as they come through the S's. Ben will be in. DRS open. Rug reducing, not quite enough to get past. Turning into a nice little battle this. George in the Williams behind is joining this little 3-car train. And George might actually have a go at Ben Ratcliffe here. He's going to get DRS, so is Ben though. Who's going to get the better draft? I think it's George. George looks like he's got a decent draft here. Is he going to make a move down into T1? Yes, he is. Up the inside, bit of contact. And I think George just about comes worse off in that one. He sort of half spins it. And just about keeps it together, but that could have easily ended in tears, that one. Well, they all live to fight another day once again, and it's been the story of the day, that really. But George is on better tyres, and you would think... I mean, this is nicely playing into Cohen's hands, by the way. Cohen's just starting to drive away and make a bit of a gap. But here comes George's assault again. DRS open. Ben still got DRS off Cohen. George to the outside. Still can't make the move. Is he going to have a dive up the inside in the stadium? Kind of. Ben gets oversteer on the exit. This is turning into a nice little battle, this. Out the last corner. More oversteer from Ben. You could just see the car kicking out there. And Ben has not got DRS to aid him this time. George up the inside. Nicely done. Pretty clean move. And gets the job done nicely. Good move from Ben. So George up into P5, and now is going to have an assault on Cohen. DRS open, you would think, with his the life of his tyres. He's going to get this done in one go. Yes, he does. Up into P4. Bradley, pretty good recovery drive to get up into P3. But is Cohen going to get a chance to come back at him here? You'd think he might do, actually. George trying to defend hard. Cohen will get DRS on the next straight as well though, which could potentially have to make him defend. I think Cohen gets a really bad exit though, and has dropped quite significantly back, although George locks the front left. Going into the hairpin, just about keeps it. And was very close to going wrong was that. Meanwhile, Vaseti and Fab are having a scrap. I think Fab made a mistake at some point, which has allowed Vaseti to catch back up. Through the S's. Onto the back straight, he's going to have a look. Thinks better of it. You will get DRS going down at the main straight, almost touching the back of each other as they come through the stadium. Oh, big kick of oversteer though for Vaseti, just about catches it. You could see that movement in the car. Wow, he's done very well to keep hold of that. DRS open. And you'd think he's going to have a go down into T1. Having the accelerator, trying to get on the brakes. Just couldn't quite manage it there. And Vaseti will get another go, gets it all crossed up. I'm just trying to think, was Fab weaving there? I think he might have been, you know, a little bit of weaving, and it's caught Vaseti out. Almost allowed him to drop it. He's done very well to keep hold of that. Again, he will live to fight another day. Go away notifications, you're blocking the half the timing board with that. So Vaseti still pushing hard in the last couple of laps. The yellow in sector 1. Just trying to see who that was actually. I think it was Bradley actually. Making a little bit of a mistake. Meanwhile, Vaseti is going to have another go on Fab up the inside. Should get it done before the corner. Yep, nice clean move. But Fab's going to come back at him. Has a late lunge. And almost gets it back. But Fab will not get DRS down this straight. Vaseti will get it to pull away. It was worth a go, to be fair, with how close he was behind. Almost gets it completely wrong though, and just about gets going and keeps it together. And not really many more battles out on track. So, well, with the last 2 laps in this race, we've got to go back to the race leader, Markering. He's had a good race. He's had a really good race actually. From coming from 17th right at the back of the grid to P1. It'll be nice to see the Mercedes back on the top step. We do know how good the Mercedes car is performance wise, and Markering showing its full potential today. Markering comes round. Final few corners to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. It's been a long one, but it's been an enjoyable one to commentate on. On to the last lap he goes. And it's been an entertaining race to say the least. Plenty of action, plenty of battles. A little bit of contact here and there. Some of it a bit malicious, some of it just general racing incidents. I mean, the highlight for me has got to be... I don't want to screw down Bradley or anything, because he's had a decent race to get back to where he was, but I've never seen anybody drop it on the leader drop it on a safety car restart like that. I was not expecting that coming out the last corner. But it's going to keep Markerick happy. He's profited from it, and as long as he keeps it together in these last couple of corners, he's going to take the race win with it as well. As he comes through the stadium section now, the confetti's being blown. Out of the last corner he comes. Markerick wins the Mexican Grand Prix, takes P1. Great drive from the man. Sutill's going to come home to... Well, he's actually just left the session, so Sutill's AI is going to come home to take P2. Great race from him. Bradley, good recovery in the end to get P3. George in the Williams, he's going to come home, hopefully, without any major drama. He's going to cross the line for P4. Cohen, bit of sideways action coming through the stadium section. Out of the last corner, Cohen's going to come home to get P5. Ben, again, coming home to get P6. Good points for AlphaTauri today, though. Vital points that they needed in the championship fight. Versailles round to take P7. Fab takes P8. Reben around the final corner, and Fabio just behind him to take P9 and 10. And Fab's actually dropped down the order a little bit due to penalties. Bossy to come home P11. Bronco potentially P12. Boss that drops P11 actually. Bossy drops down to P12. Justin crosses the line in P13. And that is the final race result. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate you joining us today. Make sure you like and subscribe the Rookie Racing YouTube channel. And we've got plenty of live streams coming up every weekend on a Saturday. And we'll leave you with the podium celebrations, and we'll see you next time.